my lovely crafty friends, and we are back with Junk Journal January, a collaboration project between a whole host of crafty YouTubers, hosted by Sandra at Be Happy Stationery and Lindsay at the Vintage Button. And the kit we're using is designed by Sandra and Jeanette from Crafting Dragon Designs, which can be purchased for a 50% discount at Sandra's Ko-fi shop. All details in the description below. So today is my day. Today is Snowflake. And when I went to the scrap store last week or a couple of weeks ago, I spotted these stamps and they were like 10p, and they have been used and they're not great quality. They need a good clean. But I was like, oh, snowflakes. Snowflakes is my day. And I also have this one, and I have this one that what I picked up from the scrap store as well. I certainly didn't pay the Hobbycraft price. So let's open our book. So the last few pages we've done, we've kept it simple, just using some glitter doodle pen. And then yesterday we created that nest of journal cards and just reminding ourselves what nesting is all about. And it's all about just taking time. So today we are going to do this page. Let me just peg that up because the pages keep falling down. Right, so today we're going to do Snowflake. And I, by chance, have got the snowy tree. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some snowflakes, and you don't need a square of paper. You can just do it on a scrap of paper, because the idea is you just fold it to create a corner. And then you could do the simple ones that we used to do when we were kids at school. I like to go a little bit more advanced. And you could draw the design if you wanted to first. I tend to just freehand it. I'm just going to go in with some zigzags. Okay, and then I'm just going to come up to join that one. So you can see we've got like the zigzags, and then into that I then cut out the middles. When I was teaching, this was how I taught my kids to do snowflakes, making sure they cut down the middle and they've got that the wide kind of gap to create. So you haven't got big chunks of paper, you've just got that kind of ornate pattern. If you watched any of my Christmas videos that I did in December, unfortunately I didn't get them finished because I succumbed to the lurgy, which you can hear is still lingering. I do feel a lot better. So very simply, just cut some zigzags. Let's just cut that little one out there. And then we're going to open it up, and we should have a pretty, doesn't matter that that's not completely created, we should have a snowflake. How cute is that? And they're slightly nicer than just having the round snowflakes that you just cut shapes out of, and you get lots of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You get lots of paper. So let's try another one. So I'm just going to fold it again. So I folded it in half again, and then I create a point. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points on my star. So this one, let's go a little bit different. We're going to come round. We're going to come down a bit. Then we're going to zigzag. And we're going to come in. And I'm going to do the same on this side. We're going to come round. Down a bit. Zigzag. And then in, and then I'm just going to cut the excess off this because what I want to do is I want to create like a point in the middle there. So that's going to come down like that. And then from this side, I'm just going to come really fine down. And then where that meets, right at the bottom. So sometimes this is where drawing it first helps you. As I said, I freehand most things, and I just look at it when it's done. Okay, and then we're going to come in with that one. Okay, now for the inside, I'm just going to do a tiny little V for the middle of the snowflake. And then let's come round in these ones and cut that one out. Let's give it like a tear shape effect. Let's come in and do that zigzag there. Let's repeat that on this side. We're going to come round. And I did sharpen my scissors in between videos, so they're actually cutting really nicely. I've been saying for weeks I need to sharpen them, and I finally have done it. And actually now they're cutting beautifully. I just use a knife sharpener and I just run it along the blade at an angle to create a sharp. So let's have a look at this one. So there we have another beautiful individual snowflakes. We've got two really lovely snowflakes made out of that brown paper. And then I'm going to get my stamps, keeping that brown theme going. Let me just get rid of all of this. Whoop. Get rid of the rubbish. I'm going to use my brown ink and my stampy pad. And we're going to just stamp some snowflakes on this backing sheet. So this is a sheet from the Be Happy Stationery Kit, Winter Woodland. And then let's get some of these ones. These are quite nice as well. Let's have a couple of these. Okay, you can see where these stamps are slightly older and they're not printing perfectly, but I don't mind that. Let's go in with some of these smaller ones. And just like all the other pages, I am trying to keep it simple. Let the kit really do the talking. The kit is so beautiful, you don't need to add all that much extra. So I'm just going to stamp out some of these. Try and have 3 of each. And then let's have a look at this one. We haven't got anything similar to that one. So let's use this one as well. And these little bits here I keep because I use them like on the last one when I'm doing pockets. I put a little bit of that plastic in to stop the whole pocket gluing. Right, that one's not actually going to come off there very easy. Sometimes when they're old stamps, they really stick to the background. What I don't want to do is rip the stamp or stretch it out of shape. So I'm just going to try and ease it off. There you go. We're just going to stick it on to the stamp background. Just give it a good stamp. Okay. Oh, that's a nice one. I like that one. Yeah. I see the difference in the quality of the stamps. This one is a relatively new one, whereas the others have been used and are a little bit tatty. and it gives a very different stamp. So let's pop that all to one side. I'll clean all that up in a bit. And with our stamped snowflakes, we are just going to, I'm going to cut round them today actually. So I'm just going to rough cut them. And we're just going to create like a collage of snowflakes. On the page using paper from the kit and snowflake stamps and some cut snowflakes. So today is really a collagey effect. You could use those snowflakes to make little tuck spots. You could do a belly band with them. I'm just going to create a little collage today of snowflakes, and then I'm going to find in my harvested letters the words "Let it snow." And then we're just going to keep it simple like that. So I'm going to carry on cutting these out, and I'm going to stick them down, and then I'll come back at the end and we'll show you where we are. Keep crafting. Okay, so I've cut out all those stamped snowflakes, and we've got the ones that I cut out of the paper, and I did a book page one as well. So let's just get them stuck down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this in half, and I'm going to have, I just need a piece of scrappy paper to lean on. That'll do. I'm just going to lean on this just to put a little bit of glue on. Oh, that's quite a big chunk of glue. Okay, and then I'm going to have that just coming in from the edge. Did tear, but that's okay. I can put it back together again. There we go. Let's have this one coming in from the corner. As I said, when I was teaching, I used to teach the kids to do these snowflakes. One year, actually, we made them out of sparkly paper, and they were the Christmas cards the kids made to take home, and they were beautiful. And because everyone is different, which snowflakes are all different, aren't they? So this one is tearing, but that's okay. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. That's okay, we can fix it. So we're just going to stick that one down, and then we're just going to fix it as we're going round. They are a little bit fiddly, but they're so pretty. They are so, so pretty. There we go. Just sticking that down. I think that one just needs to come round a bit. Let's just put a little bit of glue down there. We can always let the glue dry. Oh, put the glue on the page, claw. There you go. And then what we can do to cover up that mess in the middle is we just stick one of these ones on. There you go. And let's have this one coming in at the corner. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to glue the page, because we'll just leave the book to dry. So let's have that one coming in up there. I'm going to have like a corner of this one coming across it. So let's have that coming in like that. So we're just creating kind of a collage of snowflakes, and then I just want to stick that on there so we know it's snowflake. And we're just going to stick some of these other ones on. Coming in. Oh, I'm not sure we're going to need all that many. So I'm coming under there like that. That one there. Let's give it that little bit of glue to stick it down. Go. coming in across with that one like that. Got that little bit of book paper there, so let's stick that in that bottom corner. Or we can have kind of like half of this one coming off at the corner. There you go. Have a little bit of it coming up at the top. So you'll see quite simply, we've just created a snowflake collage. I might do another tiny one. We've got this one. Let's just cut this one out here. Just using stamps, brown paper from Amazon packaging, book pages, and the backing papers from the kit, we've created a little snowflake collage, which we can add to. Okay, to finish off my snowy page, I was looking for an image of kids dressed up for snow, and I remembered I had created these little faux postcards for my Christmas journal that I showed during Christmas. And so I just had that, and I've just used the brown ink to sepia it up a bit. And then we're just going to have Let It Snow out of kind of like, almost like ransom note. So we've got snow. So these are all letters that I have harvested from magazines, and I just keep them in plastic wallets. And I'll show you. So each letter, word are alphabetized, and they're all in little plastic wallets. And every now and then I just put a really cheesy film on, and I just sit with some magazines harvesting letters and words and just alphabetize them, which I know sounds ridiculous, but it actually really works. So Let It Snow. And then in my S, I found these little snowflakes as well, and I thought they're quite cute as well. So I'm just going to cut those off, and we can have those as well. So we'll just have some of these popped in as well, because they're quite cute. Just gives another element to the collage. How cute are they? Let's do this little one. And then that is the page done for today. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for day 8, which is Dream. Dream, dream, dream. Check out Be Happy Stationery's playlist for all the other videos from the other YouTubers that are taking part. And don't forget to share with your friends and post your pictures on either Junk Journal Community Chat UK Facebook, or you can add them to my page as well, which is Claire's Crafting Community. And I will see you tomorrow for day 8. And I'm just going to get these stuck down once I pause the video. But that is today's page. Snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Happy crafting!